I call this meeting to order. This is a regular business meeting on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. The meeting starts at 6:37 p.m. at the Early Church Center, 270 First Street, Palisades Park, New Jersey. Everyone please rise for the flag salute.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. City, please do roll call.
Mr. Chung?
Present.
Mr. Duncan? Here. Ms. Boyle? Here. Mr. Aaron Pat?
Here.
Wow.
Mr. Julian?
Here.
Mr. Sergio Kaya? Mr. Ray Parsh?
Present.
Ms. Ingilton? Mr. Justin John?
Here.
Mr. Carl O'Donnell?
Present.
Mr. Emilio D'Andrea? Tyler John?
In compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, I hereby state that the notice of this regular meeting has been provided to the public by a written notice dated January 15, 2026. The meeting notice has been emailed to all staff members at the District 3 school locations, communicated to the record, filed with the Borough Clerk of Palisades Park, posted on the district website. Now the board will go on a work session to review and discuss the resolutions. The first item to discuss about is the meeting minutes. We have two sessions of meeting minutes for approval, and one is reorganization meeting dated on January 7th, 2026. That has only one meeting minutes, and the second one is the January 21st, our regular business meeting 2026. One is the regular business meeting minute, the other is executive meeting minutes. Do you have any minute correction or any discussion on these minutes? Total 3 minutes. If not, building and ground. And the chairperson, Sergio Carle, Mr. Sergio Carle is not well today, can't really make the meeting tonight. So I will read. There are 3 consent agenda for approval for the vote tonight under this building and grounds. The first one is Ask School Rental Presbyterian Church of New Jersey. And number 2 is All United States Candle Federation for use of their practice and promotion test. Number 3 is Palisades Park PTA, VIP, and meet dance for use of school facility request. Do you have any discussion on these 3 items? Any questions? Yeah.
What is the organization for Kendo Federation? What is that?
I actually want more clarification, so Ms. Grace Leah to reach out to them, and because I was a little confused with Garden Candle that used to have our facility every year for similar test and promotion events. But this number, this name, I don't think I'm familiar with, but they sent us IRS letter to ensure that this is non-profit organization.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're using, I think it's estimate participant might be 100 people.
Question, is
Yeah.
it 100 participants or 100,
I
audience
think it's visitors, I guess.
visitors?
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. Ms. Lee, do you recall that what they answered?
So in the form, they checked off that there wouldn't be an audience, and then he said that they can expect up to 100, but probably less than 100.
So that they're not just actual people who practice in the performance, but including just the audience.
It sounded like there wouldn't be an audience, but
Wouldn't be audience just for the
or
100 people doing kendo?
performance?
well, it's probably less than 100, but
Okay.
yeah, I guess there is a promotion test, and then they wanted to practice in the gym the day before.
So it's not like they're demoing their kendo skills?
No, it's not demoing.
It says practice and promotion
So
test and
Okay, so it's just a test for advancing in kendo.
That's what it says.
Right.
Alright.
Yeah.
Is this the dojo on Berkeley Boulevard?
That's a garden kendo. That's a proper organization that used to rent it out every year in this season. And I probably they are together, I guess. But this
They
is
come
a
up as a-
federation, it's a non-profit. And in IRS, their
I just searched up the,
address is California.
yeah, one of the dojos listed under the United States Kendo Federation is like that Berkeley Boulevard.
Yeah, it's they are kind of together, but it's a federation. And the main office is in California. So, and I have a actual question to our business administrator regarding number one. According to that agreements between this school and the board.
Ask school?
Yes, and I wanted to just ask him whether the number of classroom, then amenities are cleared between us with him and the school. And so probably since this is pretty early for approval and for them has plenty of months time to consider this approval, that I think it's okay to table the direct table for further clarification. So usually they used to apply April, and then this is early too, and so I don't think it will hurt for one more month for consideration too.
For the Kendo one as well.
Kendo one is because it's pretty close, like it's April, right? So if you guys have no objection, then I think it's okay, but it's up to you. If you have a question and more,
Wait, for which items? Is
Clarifications?
it kendo and something else, or?
I'm sorry?
For, oh, the Presbyterian Church?
Yeah,
So you want some clarifying questions about the church? Yes.
about some agreements that was shared in our folder. And Mr. Andrea couldn't make it today, and I will speak with him for the clarification too. Any other questions?
What do we do with the $25,000 fee, by the way? I'm just curious.
That is a question for Midio, but I do think it is
Going
held
back to school.
for, potential facilities, upgrades and maintenance.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's earmarked, but the board certainly has a say in that. We can discuss those revenues, and if you'd like them earmarked for certain things, we can make sure that happens. But I believe that is the case.
Gotcha. Okay.
So is this the number that they paid last, have they been doing this every year, or is this?
The answer is yes. I spoke with the high school administration. I think they, maybe even upwards of 10 years. They apparently are very good tenants. They run a very well-structured program. And I think last year they may have paid 23,000, Grace?
I think 20,000 because
Or
they
20.
had one last week because of
Okay.
some kind of maintenance going on.
Yes, that's right. So their schedule was a little shorter, but it was 20,000 for last summer, so we thought 25 would be fair, but again, an extra week.
paying us this much on and off? Is it, if they've done it before also? If we've had an agreement in place for last summer, I don't know why, what the reason would be to put it off.
I don't recall, cause I was, advised from the business administrator that we can whole building, we have to set some portion of the building for their use, and I'm not sure if this classroom was that based upon that discussion with them or not. I didn't compare this to the agreement in last year. I didn't pull up that data yet. If you have no further questions, let's move on to education. Mr. Soo-Young Park, I'm sorry, Mr. Justin Chung.
For everything, do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you don't need to read all the trips, but you can have like one consent agenda for further tourism.
Field trip be resolved that the Palisades Park Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approves the following field trips. First is to William Patterson University on March 9th, 2026. It's for pre-K and kindergarten, cost per student $0. The following ones are for a trip to AMC Theater Richfield Park, one to Bergen Community College for the Teen Arts Festival, one to Rutgers University, the New Brunswick campus, one to Bergen Pack, one to Korean Cultural Center in New York for a restaurant get-together, and one for Bergen Tech Adult Education for grades 11 and 12 vocational students.
Thank you. Do you have any discussion in these first trips? If not, finance, Mr.
Actually,
Jun.
sorry.
Yeah.
Is there a specific deadline for bringing up like school field trips, like proposing school field trips for a certain school year? Or
I think usually they bring it up before our meeting for approval. But if not, we used to do the emergency votes. And then board secretary usually reach out to you. If that was before the meeting, then reach out to your, to vote on, yes or no, for the approval for the very trip too. Yeah. Any further questions? Then finance, Mr. Jun Lim.
Okay, we have 32 consent agendas. Okay, the first one is staff member visitation workshops. Board of Education recommendation approves the following request professional visitation for the following members, staff members. Second is approval of February bill list. Approve the February bill list in the amount of 1.904 million. The breakdown is below. Number 3 is approval of January payroll. January 15th and January 30th payroll amount as follows. Number 4 is student activities account. Palisades Park Board of Ed accepts the financial report of high school and the Lindbergh School activities accounts for the month of January 31st on file in the BOE office. Number 5, Palisades Park Board of Education approves 2025-26 purchasing manual as attached. Number 6, approval of settlement agreement dated February 25, matter of M&M Group for the payment of transportation services. Number 7 is approval of non-public nursing agreement. Provide nursing services for Notre Dame Academy for 25-26 school year. Number 8 is submission of amended ESA grant. Approve the submission February 13, 2026 for amended ESA for 25-26 grant as follows. Number 9, acceptance of amended IDEA grant. February 2, 2026 by State Department of Education as follows. Number 10, title search authorization. Upon recommendations, approve Rifkin Radler for title search. Number 11, approval of transportation bid results. January 11, 2026, school-related activity transportation services. Number 12, secretaries and treasurers financial reports, June 2025. Number 13, ratification of board secretaries monthly certification budgetary line items. Number 14, transfer, June 2025. Number 15, secretary and treasurer's financial report. Number 16, ratification of board secretary monthly certification. Number 17 is transfers, July 2025. '18 is secretary financial report, August 2025. Number 19 is ratification of board secretary monthly certification budgetary line item status, August 25. Number 20, transfers, August 25, 2025. Number 21, secretary's financial reports, September 2025. Number 22, ratification of board secretary's monthly certification budgetary line item, September 2025. Number 23 is transfers, September 2025. Number 24, secretary's financial reports, October 2025. Number 25, ratification of board secretary's monthly certification budgetary line item numbers, October 2025. Number 26, transfers, October 2025. 27, secretary's financial reports, November 2025. 28, ratification of board secretary's monthly certification budgetary line item, November 2025. 29, transfers, November 2025. 30, secretary's financial reports, December 2025. 31, ratification of board secretary's monthly certification budgetary line items, December 2025. And number 32, transfers, December 2025.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Many items tonight. Finance. Any questions? Discussions? We have many, but
So I haven't seen these transfers before on the agendas. What exactly are the transfers?
these reports of work, just you can correct me and you can talk, but just in basically, like, in basic, like, it's supposed to come to us for approval every month, secretary report and transfer report. But since the former administration left without closing it out, and so we have had a hard time to find that things up and catch it up, and then our administrator have been overtime working, and so we are almost there and cut on most of them that we need to get the numbers. And Mr. Vano, can you explain more too? Yeah.
Sure. Basically, I did add a brief summary in the board update last week, but April, May, and June of 2025 all the accounting needed to be closed out properly. You may recall for July and August, we had no business administrator. Mr. DeAndrea started in September. So the first order of business was closing out the previous school year. The fiscal year, of course, ends June 30th. That needed to occur before we could start working with the auditors. The auditors have been at work for about 6 weeks now and are very close to having a final audit of last school year. They are scheduled to present at our next meeting in March. So what you see here, there's so many, it's unusually high number of resolutions that date all the way back to the spring of 2025, because all of that accounting needed to be closed out, and then we had to catch up August, through the present. So I'd like to applaud Mr. DeAndrea, as he's worked very hard on this. And also, just budget transfers do require board approval. So sometimes if there's extra money in one budget line, but there's a need in a different budget line, we would present that to the board for approval to transfer it. There are some restrictions, and I'm not completely well versed in them. Emilio can explain this much better than me. But I know the transfers that were presented to the board are for your approval, and, you know, of course, it's all within our, you know, allocated budget. Does that make sense? Okay.
But Ms. Presley, because this is actually a question to Mr. Indiana, but since he's not here, I wonder if just you got Mr. Abano or Mr. Lee have any answer for this question? Because I wasn't sure why we didn't group the transfers and secretary's report for the period of time, but we just specify individually one item to one every month. Is it because that we have to approve it each month separately?
Yeah,
Is that the reason?
I confirmed it with the mayor twice, because I was like, do we need one for
Right.
each month? And he said, yes, we need.
So we have,
one
that's why we
resolution.
have a long.
Yeah, that's why
agenda.
it's.
Okay, thank you.
So we're also paying for the nurse at Notre Dame, or is that like a part-time?
Good question. So in years past, there is a state mandate where if you have a parochial school within your district, that there's state funding for nursing services and it passes through the district. So it cost us nothing. Last year, you may not have picked up on it, but the nurse at Notre Dame, we were employing the person directly. For me, that has issues, and it's a bit complicated because we have nurses here that work for us. They receive tenure, they have seniority, so to be employing someone directly who we have no oversight of, although it's allowable, to be clear, the more common practice is that you reimburse the person and they're not a direct employee. There's an allotment of money for the nursing services, and it costs Palisades Park zero. It's just that it's more or less state funding passing through our district, and that's just a mandate.
Gotcha. And why are we doing a title search authorization? What titles are we searching?
What number is it?
10?
Do you want to take that or?
Number 10. This is title search for the potential school land, and we are not sure the ownership of the land that we are searching for, but it could be or could be not.
Okay.
And even if it could be not, but still we need to documentate why our land, school owned land has to be transferred without any documentation. Any further questions? Discussion items? If not, next business item is personnel. Chairperson is Soo-Kyung Park. Could you read this?
Okay, personnel. We have 10 agenda for approval today. 1, appointment of staff. 2, resignation of staff. 3, appointment of head spring track and field coach. 4, salary adjustment, permanent substitute. 5, tuition reimbursement. 6, approval of employment contract. 7, amended rate for intervention and referral services coordinators. 8, salary adjustment request. 9, appointment of assistant spring track and field coach. 10, resignation of staff.
Thank you, Ms. Park. Any questions? Discussion?
The salary adjustment,
Number
7,
7.
is that by law? Is that, it's legislated in such a way, or how is this determined?
I'm sorry, number 7.
Yeah. Is it based upon the newly approved contract?
Oh,
Yes, this is, so, and I have to own this initially. This is work to support children who may need some extra intervention or supports. And there's a variety of activities that the teachers perform. So some of the work, as you would imagine, is direct teaching. Other work is planning. So we interpreted this, there are 2 rates. There's the instructional rate, which is 50 per hour in the new contract, and the non-instructional rate is 45. So our payroll department, some of the planning and meetings and those types of parent conferences and stuff, we were paying that at the non-instructional rate because the interpretation was that it was non-instructional. But I did meet with our teachers union president, and there is a very strong, long-standing past practice of all of the activities around INRS support services are considered part of teaching. So if you're planning, if you're delivering instruction, if you're having a parent conference, they were all, in the past practice has been that they've all been considered instructional, and therefore it's really an adjustment of the rate that should have originally been $50. Okay.
and also the salary adjustment for number 4, is that also in the contract?
This is actually not contractual, so this is a unique situation. So we have a teacher who is out on leave, and Leanne Warnock was one of our per diem subs, and doing a great job, but she is not yet a certified teacher. She's working on that. So we have been looking and searching for a certified teacher, and as you would imagine, there is a teacher shortage, and mid-year, very difficult to fill. So Leanne has been filling the full responsibilities, things like planning, meeting with other teachers, and we have veteran teachers supporting her. So while she is a less experienced educator, we have veteran staff members supporting her. So this is a recommendation, and I spoke with our principal, Ms. Romero, to increase her daily rate. The typical sub rate is $150. It's recommending $200 because she is basically, she's taken over the class and doing full responsibilities.
So, but the regular rate is 150. Do other substitutes get that?
All the substitutes get $150,
Okay.
and they come to work and some of them show up every day, but they do different assignments. You know, if a teacher's out for 2 days, they may cover that class. But the teacher is leaving the plans. So their work is, basically 8 to 3. They're covering the class, but they're not doing the planning, the grading, the parent conferences. They're just filling in for the day. Sometimes it's a 2 or 3 day assignment. So they get $150 a day. This particular teacher the teacher is out through the end of the school year. So this person has assumed the full teaching responsibilities of a class here at our preschool.
So you're saying that justifies a $50 increase per day?
That's my recommendation. Because I think there's a level of work beyond what just a per diem sub would get. You're doing full teaching, and it's still far less than what a first year step 1 teacher would make. But it's some extra compensation for taking on the full responsibility.
So she is not fully accredited to be a teacher, correct?
This is correct, and the position is posted. So we can't leave the class unattended. So we've had the position posted. It continues to be posted, by the way, And we do have an obligation to continue looking for a certified teacher. But in the interim, the children need a teacher. This person is assuming those full responsibilities, and we appreciate it. So and by the way, if we find a certified teacher, then we would bring that person back to the board, and that salary would actually be higher. It would probably be like a BA step 1 prorated.
I mean, that makes sense, because they're actually a teacher, but, okay.
Yeah, and BA step 1 prorated, just to give you an idea, is I'm just doing quick math here, it's probably somewhere around $350 to $375 per day. So we continue to look for we have an obligation to look for certified, but because we don't have one at this time, this person is doing those full responsibilities with a lot of oversight and support. So that's the principal's recommendation. I think it makes sense if the board would support that. But it's by the way, very unusual circumstances, so I completely understand why it stands out.
Does the students like the teacher, and are they learning a lot?
Yes, but again, the teacher doesn't have a high level of experience. This is someone early in their career. But I think what was smart was the principal has veteran staff who are assisting with they're collaborating on plans and strategies and really supporting the person. So it's, this is I guess, a temporary kind of fix to a problem that's really a bigger issue. I mean, there is a national teacher shortage, and to find people mid-year is just not. Back 10 years ago, there were plenty of teachers. Now it's very difficult. So we continue to search, and it's posted, and we'll continue to look. So this could change, but for now, we do need to cover the class.
I mean, are we allowed to address the teachers in the room? Ask them if anybody knows this teacher?
I'm sorry.
It's kind of unusual, but I'm just curious.
If anyone knows the teacher, like
It's not, well, she's not even a teacher, the son, I should say.
anybody know that?
No. Well, I would say at a public meeting, we shouldn't get into, any judgment or opinion of any staff member.
Gotcha.
You definitely can speak with our principal, though, who observes and is in the classroom regularly. So that certainly we could do. But again, I think, this person, we believe, is doing a competent job with this. Would we prefer that she was certified? Yes. But this is the best we could do right now. And I think she is doing a very good job.
And whether it's temporary or permanent, but being a substitute teacher doesn't require the certificate, correct?
This is true.
Yeah,
This is
so-
true. You just have an obligation to continue looking for a certified teacher, which we will do.
Any further questions on personnel? Next is new business. We have one item to introduce. As a HIP self-assessment submission, be it resolved that the Palisades Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve the submission of the district HIP self-assessments to the NJDOE, Department of Education. Any questions? If not, let's move on to the unfinished business. As Mr. Chung suggested for the building visit last month, so there is some dates, possible dates for all the board members, whether they feel okay to participate in these hours and dates. This is the morning hours and 3 days for each early child center. It's March 6th, Friday, and the Lindbergh School, Wednesday, March 11, high school, Monday, March 9. 3 days are all for the 9 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. So whomever has daytime job in office, probably challenging for be in there in this time, but what do you think? Yeah.
Is there a limit to how many of us can go at a time? Or
We just
so it's
limit the
staggered?
quorum like 4, up to 4, but I don't think even more than
A
4
certain
members
days,
would be
yeah.
possible to be in there.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to attend one or wants to go to these tours, you can tell me after the meeting or
Mhm.
check your schedules and email me and just let me know, and then I'll make sure that we stay under quorum.
Yeah, these hours and this date was picked based upon the communication with the building principals too.
Okay, so, yeah, and this will be an opportunity, we'll visit classrooms. I think it's nice to see the buildings, before we get into the budget discussions. Actually see, but again, it is limited to no more than 4. I agree with Sue, I think with schedules, it's probably unlikely that we have 4 at any one, but if you're interested in 1 or 2 of the tours, let us know, and I will be there along with the principal, and we're happy to. Oh yeah, I will join these and look forward to showing you our schools and programs.
Okay. So the other committee has no reports today. So may I have a motion to close the working session and entering into the regular session?
Motion.
Mr. Journey, motion,
Second.
Mr. Jones, second. Okay, regular session start with the board president report. I don't have any business reports, but I'm pretty sure that this morning, due to the weather, that all the parents and staff members and all the community stakeholders probably had a challenging time to commute. And I thank to everyone for participating in all the regulation of this road condition and the guidelines. And thanks to the DPW members in the borough, Department of Public Works. They work day and night to clean the snow to ensure to make a road and street safe for everyone to commute, especially around the school buildings. Thank you for school staff and police officers and crossing guard and all the employees who help the parents pick up the children and the dismissal time and the drop off time too. Thank you. And next, report of the superintendent. Mr. Bano, have a report? Do you have a report?
Yes, I do. First, I just related to the school closures, so we've had 3 thus far. And just a reminder to the community that there is a state requirement to have 180 school days. So that is a state mandate. And the calendar that is posted on the district's website, which was approved by the board last year, and will be approving next year's probably in a month or so. But it does note that makeup days are spring recess. And just a reminder, that is the April break, April 3rd through April 10th. So what I'm going to do, I did learn that there are some past years, days were added at the end of the year. So what I ask, for the board and for the community is that I am going to speak with our Administrators Association, our teachers union leadership, and also check with some of our partner school districts, because we do have children who attend other school districts and other programs, and I'm going to look at that and just try to have alignment. But again, the calendar was pretty clear. Spring recess has been designated as makeup days. Please don't make permanent plans or reservations. So I think, I hope not, but there could be another weather event. There's some snow in the forecast in the week ahead, so I think it's a little premature to announce the exact dates, but I understand we're getting close to that spring break, and if we need to be in session, people need to know. So I certainly, within a week or so, plan to put out a formal announcement as to what those makeup days are. Okay? Additionally, one of the early goals that we established for the district was to set up standard hiring procedures. So I will say, I arrived here in July. We did have a good number of vacancies. We had to expedite the hiring process. And sometimes that's necessary. If you have a resignation in late August and you have students, showing up after Labor Day, sometimes you have to do an expedited hiring process and use your best judgment. But when conditions are ideal, so for example, if we know we have 2 or 3, staff, teachers, professionals that are retiring, let's say they tell us in March, and we have plenty of time to advertise the job. We have plenty of time to conduct interviews, involve other teachers on the committees, maybe grade level teachers or department teachers who would be working with this person. That's always ideal. The next step in our process is a demonstration lesson, because the interviews are very helpful, but a demonstration lesson to actually see a teacher or a speech pathologist actually working with children is very valuable. And we do things like not only observe them, but also ask them to reflect on their lesson, on what they were, what were their objectives. And all of that gives us very good insight into who we believe is the best candidate. So the board has in front of them, and this would be formalized and posted, but not yet. We're just on the cusp of beginning the hiring season for next year. It's a little early, but within a month or so, we plan to start posting vacancies. So this is a very comprehensive look. And by the way, I collaborated with the admin team on these procedures. We kind of took what is Palisades Park's best practices, but formalized them. If there's a new administrator in a building, it's very helpful for that administrator to, if they're leading a hiring process, to be able to look at a step-by-step protocol. So in this, you'll see things such as how we advertise. And there's also a requirement to post internally. So we do that. We also advertise on our website, and we're looking at a few other platforms. The screening process, interviewing candidates. We also want to administer a writing sample. Of course, if you're an educator, it's important that you write well and communicate well. So that is another step. Demonstration lessons, as I said. Semi-finalist interviews with the superintendent. The district is small enough, and I do wear a second hat of personnel director as well as superintendent. So thus far, I've met every recommended hire before they were brought to the board. I did meet them for a final interview. And I think I can maintain that. If I was able to do it with so much hiring that we had to do last summer, I certainly think as we settle in and have more time, I can make that a firm practice. And I do like to meet anyone who is going to work in the district before recommending them to the board. And then this hiring procedures also has samples for how to post a vacancy, things like sample interview questions, what you can legally ask in the state of New Jersey and what you should not ask, which maybe is questions that are too personal. And committees, you need to review this with your committees and make sure that they don't cross a line and ask a question that is not appropriate. It also has reference checks. So what I like, and ideally if we have the time, 3 references I believe is always best, and not only a reference letter, but speaking to someone. Pick up the phone, previous supervisor, and really try to understand more about the candidate that way. And then also things, and this may sound simple, but I have sample letters for candidates who were not recommended, because we move in small circles as educators. And if we have a teacher candidate who maybe doesn't have experience and doesn't make the cut, 1 year, well, if the person goes and gets 2 or 3 years of experience and ends up applying back here, you want to leave a good impression. And if people take the time to interview, I believe the courtesy is just send them a letter. Thank you for interviewing. We appreciate, you taking the time, but at this point, you're not moving forward in the process. And people appreciate that. You know, there's a lot of articles out there about companies ghosting people, and how devastating that is when someone really wants a job, and they just hear nothing. It's very demoralizing. So I think our reputation matters, and just because someone's not ready in a particular year, they may be ready 2 or 3 years down the road, and you want to make a good impression. And I've had people who didn't get jobs say, "Oh, thank you, it was still, you know, I enjoyed the process, it was great," you know, and they mean that sincerely. So I think we want to make sure we're leaving a good impression on people who are interested in working here. So that is the purpose of this. I will say now that I don't expect you to review it this evening, of course, but you can take this with you, and if board members have any suggestions or feedback, please, by all means, you can email or call me. But we are, like I said, getting ready to start posting some positions for September, and we would like to start implementing these practices in the near future. And with that, I would take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Albano, to develop this hiring procedure thoroughly, because Mr. Albano shared this draft months ago, last year, to the board leadership, and then you developed more further. At the time already, it impressed me very much that we all understanding that and same page that the teachers are the one of the most valuable asset in our district, and he's really ensuring to have the teachers with competence by exercising this for thorough procedure to have them, and even the teachers who are not selected, that you take care of this plan. Thank you and appreciate for your time, and it's more work for you to go on through this hiring process too, and then we appreciate for you doing having the most qualified teachers to our town, to our school district.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Any questions you can give Mr. Albano or email him or contact him, because I know he presented it today, but it has many pages to read. So let's move on to the item I, approval of board minutes. May I have a motion to approve 3 meeting minutes? One is January 7, the org meeting minutes, and the other one is January 21st, 2026, regular business meeting minutes, and January 21st, executive session minutes. May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Adams?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
No objection. The 3 minutes are approved. So next item, building and grounds. Are you guys okay to table number 1, by the way? Other than that, we can go on a vote.
Yeah, there's still a good number of months. There's still a lot of time.
Yeah, thank you. And then may I have a motion to approve number item 2 and 3 in building and ground.
Motion for approval.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No objection or abstention. So number 2, or United States Candle Federation, and number 3, Palisades Park PTA, for use of our facility. Number 2 and 3 are approved. Number 1, tabled. We'll discuss and approve on March meeting, in the March meeting. Next, we have 1 consent agenda under education for field trips. May I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No objection, abstention? Okay. Good. Next item is finance. We have 32 consent agenda for the board's approval tonight. May I have a motion?
I make a motion.
I second. Would you please do roll call, Ms. Lee?
Mr. Chung,
Yes?
Mr. Ray Park,
Yes.
Mr. Justin Jung,
Yes.
Mr. Jun Yan,
Yes.
Ms. Boyoung Yu,
Aye.
Ms. Soo-Young Park,
Yes.
and Mr. Aaron Park.
Yes.
So all finance motion were approved, agenda and resolutions approved. Next, we are going to approve for the personnel agendas. We have 10 consent agenda in personnel. May I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Second.
Mr. Jung was faster. Alright, so would you call it?
Mr. Chung,
Yes?
Mr. Ray Park,
Yes.
Mr. Justin Jung,
Yes.
Mr. Jun Yan,
Yes.
Ms. Boyoung Yu,
I'll do aye for everything but number 4.
Ms. Soo-Young Park,
Yes.
and Mr. Aaron Park.
Yes.
Okay, so our agenda and resolution and personnel, 10 items are approved. Next, the new business. HIP self-assessment submission. May I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No objection? So self-assessment of submission of HIV, HIP is approved. Next, unfinished business. I don't know if whether we need to approve it,
Oh, no.
No.
right? But we can just leave it today and then just reply to Ms. Lee for your attendance availability. Your availability on that day. May I have a motion to open our meeting to audience?
I make a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
In order to conduct its meeting properly and efficiently, the board shall require the following procedure to the public participation at board meetings. An individual desiring to speak shall give his or her name, address, and group, if any, that is represented. The presentation shall be as brief as possible, but no more than 3 minutes per individual. The board vests in its president or other presiding officer authority to terminate the remarks of any individual if she deems it in the best interest of those present to do so. Now our meeting is open to the public. Any speaker in the public like to speak? No one? If not, may I have a motion to close public participation
I make a
And-
motion.
and entering into the closed session?
I make a motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public, we have legal matters and personal matters to discuss in closed session. You may remain here or you can leave, and there may or may not be a formal action taken after the closed session. And once we get back to the public session, there may be, or not sure, but maybe there's formal action to be taken too. And of course, I think we'll probably need at least 30 minutes in closed session. If we don't see you once we return to this office, then have a good night.